We want to thank our sponsor, Binderlift. Binderlift is a patient lift device that buckles handles around the patient's torso so firefighters can safely lift patients of any size with ease. The most injury-prone, non-fire ground activity a firefighter does is lift a patient. If you're lifting heavy patients, and let's be honest, all of us are, then you're going to want to check out the Binderlift so you can avoid getting injured from lifting a patient. Vince, have you ever lifted up a heavy patient? Or any patient at all?
I've blown my back out so many times lifting heavy patients. I can't count the number of times. So something like Binderlift is a pretty awesome product, especially if it's going to save me from having to lay up from the job or go to medical or just work the rest of my day in pain.
Absolutely, and they'll let anyone try it out for free. Doesn't matter what your role is within the department. Just sign up for a free field trial on their website, and they'll send you a set of Binderlifts to try out for a month or so, absolutely free. We use them in our department, and I recommend you give them a try. Just Google Binderlift to watch some videos and sign up for a free trial.
Binderlift, the new slogan should be Binderlift, save your back. Save your back. Welcome back to Chicago's Bravest Stories. Today we have an interesting guest with us, Lt John Nyerges from the University of Notre Dame Fire Department. How are you, John?
I'm good, but interesting. I don't know about that. But
well,
okay.
I guess that will be determined later, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you spending the time to talk with us. I know we've been kind of working on getting something together. And before the whole COVID thing happened, we were going to run out there and do a remote. You guys were kind enough to invite us out and have us do a remote with you guys and actually record at your fire department, which is still something we're going to do. But in the meantime, we kind of wanted to have you on just to kind of talk with us for a little bit. I'm one of those people who did not realize that the University of Notre Dame had their own fire department. Can you just give us a little bit of history about that?
Notre Dame is the oldest campus fire department in the country. Started in 1846 with a little bit of a, if you want to call it a fire department. And then what really made the fire department go, they had a fire at the Golden Dome, and they burned the building down. So Father Thorne, who discovered Notre Dame University, decided, well, they needed a real fire department. So 1879 was when the fire department was truly created. 1846, they basically was a bucket brigade type of situation then. But at 1879 was when the fire department started.
Wow. I had no idea that there's ever been a fire in the Golden Dome.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's actually been a lot of fires on campus. In recent years, not so much because the protection that we have in the buildings. But prior to the protection, workers working on the roof or whatever, contractors, and something happens and have fire start,
Wow.
So, but yeah, we're protected. I'd say probably 95% of our buildings are sprinkled. Every building is alarmed, but about 95 are sprinkled.
What's an average call volume for you guys out there? And let's take it from during the football season, because I imagine that's a little busier for you guys.
Well, when I first started at Notre Dame, I retired from a fire department in North Notre Dame called Clay Fire Territory. I had 27 years there as a captain, and I was hired in at Notre Dame as a lieutenant. So my first year was 2017. I was hired February of 2017. And that year, we were really busy. We had almost 2,400 runs that year out of one firehouse. And games are crazy. We bring in all our staff on games, and we also we have on-calls that work for us. And we put them out in carts out in the lots because of tailgating or what have you.
Like golf carts?
Golf carts, yeah, golf
Okay.
carts. And on an average game day, I'm saying average, we'll do probably 40, 45 runs in a 24-hour period. Now, mind you, that's outside of the stadium. That does not include all the medical emergencies inside the stadium, which they have other personnel that work inside the stadium to take care of that. But as far as our call volume goes, anything outside the stadium is what we count. Now, I think the first year we were playing Georgia, and that day was the busiest day we ever had with 74 runs in a 24-hour period.
Wow.
It was crazy. It's crazy.
So you guys have a private provider who provides the inside, like a contract or something like that?
Well, they're actually part of the fire department. They're nurses, basically. Part of the fire department. We have a gal that takes care of that side of things. We also put South Bend Fire Department comes in, they bring medics in, and they work in the stadium along with some of our guys, because in the stadium there's 3 buildings there. So we put a fireman in each building along with a paramedic, and then we have an engine company that actually goes into the stadium, because a lot of times they've got to get people out of the stands, so they got to use a stair chair and trying to fight the crowd. It's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
And it's really a big deal. It's a fun day. You see a lot of things. You meet a lot of people. Our firehouse is open, and we get people from all over the country that stop in, and it's very interesting to be there on a game day.
What type of your firehouse in particular, is it an engine, truck? What kind of apparatus you guys got in there?
We have a 2-story, 2-bay firehouse. It's built in 1945. Now the other one was tore down many years ago. But we have a main engine is a HME, a rat. It's a real short wheelbase pumper, and basically it looks funny. However, it's very versatile. By fact, we can drive on the sidewalks, because some of the buildings we have to use the sidewalk to get to.
Oh
because
yeah.
of the way it's placed.
Yeah, and you guys got this. You guys got this Ford Bronco to rip around in then.
Yeah. So we have that engine, and then we have a regular full-size engine, which is our reserve engine, and then we have a little squad, if you will, has a pump on it as well. So we have
pickup.
We have 2 rigs that are basically in service 24/7, and our personnel, we have 4 people on duty each day. So we have 2 and 2, which is not safe, obviously, but I mean we make it work. But then on game days, we have obviously more personnel that ride the rig. So
yeah, pretty good compliment. How many stations you guys got?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot going on for one station.
Yep. And we protect not only Notre Dame's campus, but we protect St. Mary's campus, which is the girls' school across
yes, it is.
highway. And we have Holy Cross Junior College, which is south of that. And then we also do mutual aid to Clay and South Bend Fire Department as well. And that's not all the time. That's hit and miss.
Right.
Are
I got to
you guys
imagine
an ALS department, John?
Do what?
Are you guys an ALS department?
No, we are not. We're a BLS. We do have 2 paramedics on duty. They were hired last year, but no, we're just BLS at right now. I'm not sure if we're ever going to go further with that, because we have the ambulance very close. Because we got Clay's got ambulances, South Bend has ambulances, so they're within just a couple minutes of the campus. So.
Oh, so you guys don't have an ambulance in your firehouse at all?
No, we do not. Now on game days, we do. We have South Bend brings out probably 4 ambulances, I think it is, and we have one that runs strictly out of the firehouse for stuff that happens on campus. The other ambulances, they go to the stadium and transport people from there to the hospital.
Do you have to be Catholic to be a member of the University of Notre Dame Fire Department? Is that a criteria?
Well, that's interesting. I don't know about that. I'm Catholic.
There's at least preference points. It's not. So, John, what's wow? I mean, that's pretty impressive. The call volume you guys are working with, everything you guys got going on with game days. I mean, what is the wildest game days you guys have had playing? Who's the big rival? Is it Georgia?
Well,
no.
You got USC. That's
USC,
probably one of the biggest ones. And then every once in a while you'll have an Alabama come in, or one of those.
Oh yeah.
Michigan too. I don't like Michigan, so I forget about Michigan. But yeah, Michigan's a big one. And those games, the big games, obviously, were much busier. I mean, we have the same amount of crowd, but for whatever reason, we're much busier on those days. And a lot of times, the big schools that come in to play are night games. So basically, if it's a night game,
just to juice it up a little bit more, huh?
Oh yeah, we come in at 9 in the morning, and we don't get off until 2 in the morning. That's what basically the shift is. If you're coming off shift, so it's a long day. It really is a long day.
Well, can I assume that most of your runs during game day are alcohol related?
Well, you could say that.
Well,
Yeah.
nobody's going to judge you, John. I mean, it's just if they are there.
No,
I mean,
the majority of them are, yes. And
Yeah.
then obviously, you fall, and
Yeah.
probably attributed to that as well.
To the alcohol.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about any, being such a prestigious and well-known university, what about some famous people that have walked through the doors of your firehouse?
Oh my goodness. Well, we've had football coaches, obviously. We've had several Chicago guys. We've had New York guys, big chiefs come through the door. Obviously we get some big priests that come. Trying to think if I've met anybody that famous types that have come through the doors that I've been. I don't think I have.
Wow. I mean, it's all null and void once Vince shows up.
Right.
Once Vince shows
Well, I'm
up,
going
that's
there and
the
I'm
most-
like, where's Rudy sleep? That's my experience.
I can show you though where Frank Leahy, one of the coaches many years ago, he stayed.
Oh yeah.
He had a room in the firehouse.
Really?
And, yeah.
Oh
so,
boy.
That's pretty cool. Because the way it worked back in the day, across the street we have a power plant. So the brothers, they would work at the power plant and they would live at the firehouse. So if there was a fire during the day, they would leave the power plant like a volunteer organization and go get the rig and then go on the run. So as the time went on, the brothers would stay in the firehouse, and then they started getting students in lieu of room and board. They would stay at the firehouse, and then they would make runs with the guys.
Wow.
That stopped in the, I want to say it was like the early 80s, mid 80s is when the student firefighters stopped.
Yeah. Right around the time when the cost of tuition went up, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Or somebody ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, very likely.
That's usually when things stop in the fire department, when one person ruins
That's
it.
true. That's true.
How about any notable runs for you, John? I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
Well, my first week, and you guys are going to laugh, being in Chicago, but my first week there, I had a car fire. That's pretty cool, right?
Was it on the school grounds?
Yeah, it was, and then South Bend came, but we had that, and then
You didn't let them put out your fire, though, did you?
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
I was just testing you.
Last week on my shift, we went to South Bend, had a pretty good sized apartment fire, and we ended up going in on third alarm, and we staged. We didn't get to do anything, but then we left there and we stole another car fire from on our way back to quarters.
I can't even imagine the kind of difficulties you guys are dealing with out there on the campus. Just I'm sure hydrants are pretty spread out, if at all. I'm sure the way your guys' apparatus is set up. I mean, not to get too weird on you, but we don't talk to many guys from out of our area, so it's always super interesting to hear like different layouts guys have. And
where do you hook up? Let's say you get a fire, you get another fire at the Golden Dome. Where do you guys hook up to?
Well, every building has fire department connections, and then standpipes and stairwells. So, and our hydrants, we have a lot of hydrants. So we don't worry about any tanker shuttles. We don't have to worry about that. So we have water when we need it. Sometimes there's long lead outs depending on where the building's located.
I'll bet.
And if South Bend comes in, they have full-size apparatus, and they can't come on the sidewalk. So they're, if they're going to lead out, it's going to be a long lead out for them.
It's after a 1.5 mile walk.
Yeah.
This episode of Chicago's Bravest Stories is brought to you by Genico Roofing. You can find them on Facebook, JENICO.
Vince, who knows building, construction, and roofing?
Firefighters do.
And this company is firefighter owned and operated.
So Genico are specialized in residential roof tear-offs here in Chicago and the suburbs. They are licensed and insured. You can get a hold of our friend Jim at Genico at 815-693-5665. Genico. When I think about University of Notre Dame Fire Department, you guys are the actual members, the sworn members from the fire department. You guys are paid through the university?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we could go back to say that when you go to church and you put money in the collection, you are actually putting money to help fund the university. That's right.
Yeah, paying my salary.
Okay, I wanted to make that connection so that people were a little more generous when the basket came around at church.
Right.
And sometimes, we have to take out of the basket because of our salaries. You know what firemen do, right?
How's a guy supposed to eat, right, John? How is a guy supposed to eat?
Yeah.
And what's your guys' layouts out there, John, with shifts?
We work 24-hour shifts, and we work 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 4 days off. So it's every other day for 3 days, 24 hours, and then we get 4 days off.
Wow. What's the setup of your guys' members? How many firemen do you guys have there?
We have 12 suppression firefighters. We have 3 alarm technicians, which they work 8-hour days, 5 days a week, and basically their job is to maintain the alarm system.
Yeah, all the protection systems.
Audio visual tests, pump tests. That's basically what they do, and they assist us with whatever we want. They're not. 2 of them are not firemen. 1 of them is a fireman, so he can double as a technician, or he comes and rides the rig. And then we have fire chief, assistant chief, and then we have an administrative assistant, affectionately known as secretary.
She's the one who really runs the show there, right?
Or he?
Well, she seems to think so, but
she doesn't listen, does she?
No.
She's not a fan of this show.
No, I can't. Wow. Well, I mean, again, it's super great talking to you, John. I got to tell you, it's just one of our biggest things around here is just kind of the way we market it is like we'd be, if we caught you in the bar, we'd be sitting down and BSing with you just like we are right now. So it's nice that we get to put you on and have other people hear what you guys got going on. What I know you guys are very professional fire department out there. Do you guys ever play any pranks on each other or mess with each other at all? Or
well, we're too busy. We're too busy to do that kind of stuff. But at my other department, I do have a very good story to tell.
Oh boy! Well, you put 30 years in over there. I'm sure you got a couple of them, maybe.
Yeah. Well, this one actually has a little bit of Chicago in it too. There was a fireman that worked with me. His name is Bill Carlson, and Bill and I have been friends for 40 years. And this guy is an absolute stand-up guy. He started riding in Chicago back when Squad 3 ran out of 61's quarters on Wabash. And he started riding there. He rode with Emmett Durkin and Stretch Hughes, and he actually got me into riding in Chicago myself. So we would go and ride together. We'd ride Squad 5 and what have you. And he got on the job with me at Clay. And he got hired on, I think he was 42 or 43 when that happened.
Oh, wow.
Well, one thing is he's a prankster, and he can take it very well. And one day, my captain and I, we got to talking, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do something. I am going to write a letter to Bill from this guy by the name of Ira. And I think you can figure out what IRA is. And so I did this letter, and I didn't think it really would go anywhere. Well, the first letter from IRA came from Florida. You asked how it came from Florida. Well, one of our captains back then went to Florida on vacation, took the letter, mailed it from Florida. So Bill gets this letter from IRA. Ira's like, kind of stalking him type of thing. And he's like, who in the hell is Ira? Where'd this come from? And so we like, oh, this is great. So we
I don't know, but he sure does think you're handsome.
Yeah. So a couple more letters go out, and it continues. Well, our fire chief gets involved in it. His family gets involved with it. And every Christmas, he would have a family reunion in Toledo, Ohio. So here he is going to Toledo, Ohio with his family, and he's pulling up to the Holiday Inn where they're staying. And on the marquee, it says, Ira welcomes the Carlson family. And he could not believe it. He's like, what the hell? He said, So, and they go into the bar, and his daughter goes up to some person, and this person goes up to Bill and says, I understand you know Ira. And Bill is just dumbfounded. He's like, where is this coming from? So he comes home and he tells us the story, and we're like, you're kidding me, right? So the last thing we did, we set up a mock training, and I'm videotaping it. We're at our other station, and we're talking, just having, table talk training. And here comes this guy through the door who is Ira. He's got his shirt tied up. He's got these short shorts on.
Oh, boy.
He's got a bouquet of flowers, and he gives them the bill. I'm videotaping it. We're laughing like hell, right?
I've seen Vince wearing this outfit before, too.
So I take the video, and then I make a copy of it. I send it to Squad 5. And so he goes to ride at Squad 5, and they popped it in the VCR. And all the guys are around, and Bill doesn't know what they're going to watch, right? And this comes on, and they're like, Bill, what in the hell is it? Why didn't you tell us you were like this, And he's saying, that's not me, And Bill, he's laughing. He's red as hell, right? And so he comes back, and he figured out, it was me that
you guys were messing with him.
This prank went on months. It went on for months. And when we got Ira to come to the station, it was a classic.
That's another long play.
Yeah.
Another long play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. I wouldn't expect that from the Catholics over there, huh?
Or maybe more so. Who knows?
And he is a devout Catholic.
Oh.
He is a devout.
Even better. Even better.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, John, when you has a fire department at a Catholic university, are priests high up on the chain are they included in your chain of command? Do you have any clergy as part of your chain of command?
No, we don't. They did. Brother Barmeo was the chief there. He started in 1939, and he was the longest tenured chief, I think, in the state of Indiana. He did 50 years as chief. And so
wow,
50
he
years,
was in charge, obviously. He was the fire chief, and then the brothers worked under him. But then as the students would come in, obviously, they're all clergy. So, he was in charge for 50 years at Notre Dame.
So at one point, the fire department consisted of clergy, huh?
Yes, it was all brothers.
Wow, that's crazy. So do your members go through a regular academy just like everybody else, or do you guys do an in-house academy? What is your training structure for the Notre Dame Fire Department?
Well, after I got hired, I became the training officer. They didn't have a training officer per se, so I became a training officer. And what we do now is Clay has a structured fire academy, and I want to say it's 9 months long. So we try to if we get a rookie, so to speak, that comes in, we'll send them up there. Now, mind you, a majority of the guys that get hired at Notre Dame are former career firefighters elsewhere.
Right.
So they may retire from their present job and come and work at Notre Dame. So they already got the state certifications, and they bring the experience with them. So we just fine tweak it a little bit with what Notre Dame does.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
kind of tailoring it to what you guys have going on.
Yeah. But if we get a new person that, they just hire that young kid or what have you, and he doesn't have his state certification, then they will send him through that academy to get all of that stuff. So, but that's how we do it.
Okay. Well, we're still going to be coming out. We're still going to do that remote, and we'll try to time that. Hopefully, the world gets back to normal by the time football season starts. But we're definitely going to take you up on that offer. We're definitely taking the show on the road, and we're definitely bringing our gear.
Oh man,
Yeah,
we're taking runs with you guys.
You can chase alarms all night long. I'll stay in bed. That's great.
That's Corey's specialty.
I might add something though, that we made history last year. We hired
in a good way.
We hired our first 2 female firefighters, and one of them is my driver.
Your first female firefighter in the history of the Notre Dame Fire Department.
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes. And one of them is my driver. And you talk about a solid gal. She is solid. Both of them are very good. Mine, she's my driver, so I like talking about her. She can run circles around me. She's 38 years old, and I mean, I can't speak. She's just great. She's learning the job. She went to Clay's Academy. She graduated from there last year, and she's actually a part-time firefighter at Clay as well. And but she wants to learn. She's in the process of getting her degree, and she's just very, very good for our department. Her sister actually is the police chief for Notre Dame Police Department.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
there's another episode. They have their own police department as well.
Yes, they do, and they just switched over last year to all police officers. They had public safety officers prior to that weren't sworn police officers. They were more of a security thing, but they also had the police too. But now they're fully 100% sworn police officers.
With all the brawls that they got going on there, I can't even imagine getting in between some of these. You get the Ohio State showing up over there. Things aren't going to be nice and easy going into the fourth quarter.
Well, there goes all our Ohio State fans of the show.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Since COVID took over our lives, we haven't been quite as busy, obviously, because they sent the students home and they're not back yet, and they actually pretty much closed the university for a period of time. So we weren't busy at all. They actually changed our shifts during that. They added a fourth shift and took one guy from each shift to create that shift. And we ended up working 48 hours on and 6 days off. And I got to tell you, I love that schedule. I didn't mind the 48 hours off. Some of the guys hated it because they had a lot of kids at home and they were doing the e-learning online and driving them. Being home 6 days they're like, we can't wait to get back to the firehouse, So that was a great schedule. That was a great schedule.
Yeah. Ironically, people have been trying to throw me on fourth shift for a long time too. We only have 3 shifts up here, just so you know.
I get you.
Do you have any projects coming up? Anything that we can shed some light on? You got anything that you want to talk about? This is a roll call, so we don't want to rush you. But is there anything that you want to promote?
Well, one thing that we're heavily involved with is Hoosier Burn Camp. They're out of Battleground, Indiana, and that's a big thing. There's a lot of departments that donate to Hoosier Burn Camp, and there's a lot of good programs that they offer. Summer camp is a big thing that they offer. So I think that's one of the things that we really really like.
Strongly support. That's
yeah,
phenomenal, John.
It's a great thing.
Do you know how people would go out there to reach out to them, or?
They have a website. It's www.hoosierburnCamp.org. They're on Facebook, and they also have a phone number. Their phone number is 765-567-0115. You can go on that website to donate. It's a great cause.
And it's HoosierBurnCamp.org, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have a burn camp out here that a lot of people support, and they took a big hit with with the whole COVID thing too. So I know that these guys need some extra support after, going through the COVID. A lot of these burn camps lost a lot of funding just because they couldn't be out in the public, and they couldn't have these kids coming out and stuff like that. So we really need to support these guys a little more.
Yeah, it's for the young burn survivors, and it's like you said, I'm sure they took a hit like everybody's taken a hit during this pandemic. So it's be appreciated, people donate to that. It's a great cause, and we support it fully. So
awesome. Well, Lieutenant Nyerges, thank you so much. Thanks for making the time for us. And I got to tell you, I couldn't be more excited about, if you're going to twist my arm and force me to go down to a university to hang out with a bunch of guys and maybe even check out a football game, you couldn't do it. It wouldn't be that hard. So thank you again, Lieutenant.
Hey, John, and thanks for volunteering Corey to cook that day, too.
Oh, sure.
I think your lieutenantness outranks his lieutenantness, right?
Yeah.
100% does. Again, thank you so much for the invite. Thank you so much for spending a half hour with us. And you guys, please, if you can help out, HoosierBurnCamp.org for the burn camp that Lieutenant John Nyerges supports.
Yeah.
From the University of Notre Dame Fire Department.
I want to thank you guys for inviting me to the show and our department. I listened to your show, and some of the people you had on, absolutely, funny, serious. It's great. And, riding in Chicago all the years that I did, a lot of the names that you spoke of on your show, I knew, and, it was a great time in my life. Learned a lot, from your department, and just some great guys through the years, and just awesome time.
Well, we very much appreciate that, and like we've said to other people out there, is like, this is your show. You guys let us know what you want to hear, who you want to hear. We're just the guys who are lucky enough to sit down in the studio and have a drink with these people, or call them on the phone and just spend some time with them, and stuff that we would want to do anyways, just hear these stories. We're just lucky enough that we get to share them with other people. So thank you so much. We appreciate the support, and we'll see you out in South Bend.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a Fire and Iron Media production. You have something to say, people want to listen. How's that, Daddy?
The opinions and views are that of Chicago's bravest stories and their guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any municipal governments, fire protection districts, fire departments, EMS, or law enforcement organizations.